Don't you just love it when you order a package and it says this side up, but it's laying down on the porch? Like, I can't control what you do inside of your van, but at least deliver it the right way.
Hair fern, my nemesis. I
So I bought another maidenhair fern. This is not the new one. This is the old one that I nearly killed. And I am keeping it alive. It looks horrible, but I'm keeping it alive. But I decided to buy another one.
This came
because
says this side up.
I don't know.
That's okay.
I like
half the dirt
punishment.
had fallen out because
I don't know. Something just made me buy it.
The delivery driver.
And of course,
half the dirt
it got delivered all janky.
You know.
So
I understand delivery drivers
I'm already
have a lot of
starting
deliveries and
they couldn't even get it here
and not to their heart
the right way. Even though half of it was out of the pot, it's still beautiful. And I'm just gonna see what I can do. But I already know that I'm gonna lose some of these fronds because some of the roots aren't even in the dirt. I can't believe they delivered it like that. Anyway, this is my new fern, you guys. And I'm going to try my best to not almost kill it. I do want to give you all a heads up if you are watching the Vlogmas videos. Because I'm not getting as much engagement on the Vlogmas videos as I would normally get on my regular, like once a week video, I have decided to not vlog every single day till Christmas. I think I'm going to take the vlogs down to maybe just 3 a week. That just makes more sense to me. That way I can actually bring you guys quality videos. I'm not rushing to get the video up. I'm not scrambling for content because, you know, on some days I'm just not doing much and it's not very interesting. Also, it does give me time as well to plan out some good content for you guys. So when I'm not vlogging, I can bring you a favorites video or maybe a video about decorating my tree or a video about gifts that you can buy for the holidays. So I just want to make the content a little more fleshed out and give you the same quality content that I would give you if I were just doing my weekly video. Also because the days are kind of like dragging right now, I am having to do kind of a hodgepodge of content, a hodgepodge of clips of just different things that are going on, you know, in my life. Like, I guess I could talk about shows that I'm watching. I'm definitely going to talk about books that I'm reading. In fact, I have one that I just finished coming up. But yeah, I just want to talk about things like that because I guess I'm not really doing a whole lot except decorating trees right now. I'll start decorating the outside of the house soon, and I don't know how much of that I can show. Anyway, I hope you're here for whatever it is that I have, because I feel like the content always works itself out in the end. I just finished reading this book, Circling the Drain by Amanda Davis. The title is ominous, which is probably what attracted me to it. Don't judge me. Apparently I got this book for $1.99 somewhere. I do not remember purchasing this book, but you know, I also don't remember what I ate for breakfast yesterday, so. 15 short stories about women in various precarious situations we hear about all the time on social media. They make movies about it, like The Burning Bed, like those types of situations. And I am blown away by this author. I am blown away by this series of short stories because I am not a short story reader. I need to put on my makeup, y'all, because I'm going to the coffee shop with my man. No, I'm not gonna my man you to death. I just said it because it sounded funny. Last night I exfoliated my face, and this morning I put on the vitamin C. Oh my God, that's a lot. Okay. And now I'm gonna use this very bougie oil. Not this much though. This very bougie oil, water oil, to hydrate and moisturize all at the same time my face. I'm going to use this, and I just put vitamin C on, so I think this is perfect to just put on top of it. I'm not going to overdo it because I still have to put on my sunscreen and my makeup. A little eye serum, which I should have put on first. And I rub that all around. I don't know why we just put eye cream underneath, because isn't this part of your eye too? Eye cream. I was a little generous with the eye cream and rub it all around. And I know it looks like I'm rubbing my eyes, but I'm not. I'm actually being very gentle. All right, and now sunscreen. Almost done with this one. Gotta have a backup. Oh, you know, you get a lot in this little bottle. I think that Summer Fridays, unlike other brands, oh, look at me. Look at me lying. No, but I've had this for months. I think Summer Fridays, unlike other brands, actually, I think they fill their tubes up almost all the way to the top. So I've been using this one for a while. I mean, there's still a lot of product in here. This is not bad. Okay, but that sound is probably annoying. 2 fingers. I love this sunscreen because while it starts off with a cast, it finishes with a nice glow. I have to let this sit for a minute, so let's talk about it. 15 stories about women in various different situations. So if you're the type of reader who your women have to be very strong, you want those boss babes, you want women who like conquer the world, you want women who just walk away from relationships and they don't even look back, you really admire a woman who is just strong and who don't need a man. Like, if that's what you like to read, don't read this. This is not for you. But if you just like a good story, if you like to get inside people's lives and get inside people's heads, and, you know, if you like to suffer with them, if you like to like be a shoulder to cry on, if you are a woman who sometimes is that strong boss babe who we love to read in stories, but also who is actually human and is fallible and who has flaws and who like has done something a little strange sometimes, I think you'll relate to this book. I totally related to this book because I'm every woman. It's all in me. Okay. And I don't judge women who are not strong. I don't judge women who don't always make the right decisions, because as human beings, we don't always make the right decisions. I like to read stories about real people. I like to read stories about people who go through stuff, and whether they come out of it unscathed or not, that's not up to me. It's up to the author. It's up to the characters. I'm just a fly on the wall. I'm just an observer. And that's how I read books. And I say this all the time because people are very judgmental of characters in books. People are very judgmental of books. People are very judgmental of authors. And honestly, they're just telling you a story. Some stories are good stories and engaging and they keep your attention. Some stories are bad stories. They're just not great stories. Some people don't tell stories well, but the story is still the story. And that's what's in here, 15 short stories that I actually enjoyed. Just her way of crafting words. That is typically what I'm drawn to when I'm reading books. How are the words crafted? Set the scene for me. And she set 15 different scenes. Like, I don't know how she did it. By the way, I am not typically a short story reader, but I'm glad somewhere in the past, probably at some used bookstore, who knows when or where, I picked this up for $1.99. Now, I have to say that, of course, after reading this, I wanted to read more books by the author. So, of course, I went on Goodreads to see what other people thought of the book. And now I can prime. Max, Prep and Prime, Fix Plus. Whew. felt really good. This is some good stuff, and it's very, very hydrating. Let me go ahead and just dry it down a little bit though before I put on the very minimal makeup that I'm gonna put on today. Wherever I was when I bought this book, in, you know, wherever, it was written in 1999. I bought it for $1.99. I read that. I don't really like to read short stories, but now maybe I do like to read short stories because that was totally worth it. NARS Light Reflecting. NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. New Caledonia is the color. I'm gonna take 2 drops. So I went looking for other books by this author, y'all, and this is where it gets a little sad. She's no longer with us. Apparently in 2003, Amanda Davis passed away in a plane crash while promoting her first novel. Now, she had been writing lots of short stories and articles, you know, she was published, but she had not written a novel yet. And she was a professor apparently, and you can see this information on Goodreads because I actually, like, one of the first reviews that I read, because I went on Goodreads to just see what they were talking about her. One of the first reviews is a student of hers who took one of her classes, or took 2 of her classes, I think she said. And she reported that in March 14th of 2003, Amanda died in a plane crash. You want to know something that's really eerie? One of the stories in the last third of the book, the last few stories, is called Crash. It's about a plane crash, y'all. I'm feeling some type of way right now because, like I said, I just finished this. I finished it last night and I slept on it. And I woke up this morning and did the research. And this, because I have issues with lying, I just got makeup on my book. Okay, note, do not do your makeup and hold your books at the same time. But what was I gonna say? I'm 52, y'all. I be forgetting stuff all the time, so bear with me. I just, I did some research this morning because, like I said, I wanted to read. I was like, I slept on it. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning when I went to sleep too, after reading the last story, which was actually really good. And the last story, which is in this book is called Faith or Tips for the Successful Young Lady. Faith or Tips for the Successful Young Lady. Okay, now it makes sense. Wow, y'all just saw me have a revelation. That is what seeing someone having a revelation looks like. Faith or Tips for the Successful Young Lady. She actually expanded this story, and this was her first novel. And for the life of me, I can't think of the name right now, but I'll pop it up here somewhere so you guys can know what it is too. This was her first novel. Anyway, she was promoting her novel and her plane crashed in the mountains of North Carolina. And I'm not the best flyer, and I have a flight here soon in a couple weeks. And I don't like that. I don't like that I read about a crash. I don't like that she died in a plane crash. I don't want to go on the trip anymore, y'all. Just being honest. Like, I am not the best flyer in the world. Like, medication is involved. And I don't know what made me decide to get fancy a couple of days before Christmas. Like, it's just gearing up to be a tragedy, right? I don't know what made me decide to do that. What made me decide to be like, yeah, sure, I'll go, on this trip. And I don't fly alone, and I'm doing that too. At least there, I'll be with someone coming back. But I'm having a moment, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I'm having a moment. And I know that it'll be fine. I know that things will be fine no matter what. But right now I'm having a moment. And you guys get to witness that here. You get to witness me have a moment. Anyway, the book is amazing. I do plan on reading or buying the actual novel that is adapted from that last story. I'm so sad that Amanda's no longer with us because, wow, I love the way that she writes. Like, her short stories have almost inspired me to write. And I don't really consider myself a writer at all. Like, that's not something I've been told it's something that I've been told I should do. But like, I was writing this blog once, y'all, and I was writing the blog And the whole time I was publishing the rough drafts instead of the edited blog. And you know how I found out? I was trying to get a job with this doctor. And, you know, she was kind of reading my blog as my resume. I did not realize that I was publishing the blog with the typos. Also, that was also at a time when my eyesight started to kind of deteriorate and I couldn't see very well, but I didn't realize I couldn't see very well. Or maybe I was in denial because I'm human and that's how human beings are. Don't judge me, or judge me if you have to. But the point that I'm making is I went back and read this blog because I hadn't heard from the lady. And I mean, I can put sentences together. Like I can write, you know, pretty deep. I graduated and I had so many typos and errors. And I was like, well, no wonder. Like if this is my resume, it's horrible. And no wonder I never heard back. So I don't know that I consider myself a writer. It's a lot of reading. And I like to read for pleasure. But if you're going to write, you have to read and reread and edit and edit and edit. And it's a lot of work. I do that with YouTube videos already. So, you know, not sure I want to sit and stare at like pages and pages and pages of my own typos. Anyway, I am both devastated and elated. I've said this now twice, elated that I was introduced to Miss Amanda Davis. And I do want to read other things that she's written because she has written a couple other things, including her novel. And if you like a good story, I will never recommend a book to you. I don't really like to just in general recommend books because everybody's tastes are different. You may or may not like what I like. You may or may not read the way that I read, you know, all the time. I could have had some good light. Oh, that's so much better. So I don't really recommend books as much as I just tell you how they make me feel. And I really enjoyed reading this one to the point where I just wanted to like devour it. It took me a while to read it though, because you know, when you get a little bit older, you get a little bit slower. And I had a lot going on and a lot of emotions going on, you know, during this time. So it took me a while to get through it. But if you can find Circling the Drain and you like short stories, you like a good story, some of the stories do read a little lifetimey. Not the language. The language is excellent. And the way she writes is excellent, but the stories themselves, they are a little lifetimey. But just think like a poetic lifetime story in the sense that, you know, the story itself could be a Lifetime movie, but the writing is like above and beyond that. So if you like that, and just if you like reading about women and the stuff that we go through, like, and dealing with men, because that's a lot of what this talks about, I would highly recommend that you check this one out. I'm gonna finish off by adding a tad bit of concealer, just a little bit, and I just need to dab, 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 dab. This concealer is the Stay Naked Urban Decay concealer that I think you're just really supposed to use on spots in general. It's not just for under the eyes. But I just wanted to brighten my under eye just a tad because to me, the foundation kind of matches perfectly. And I just wanted to give myself a brighter under eye. I don't know if I'm wearing this outfit. This is from Negative Underwear. I know you can only see the top. This is from Negative Underwear, and it is very soft. It is a set, but I think that it came in 2 pieces because I feel like they don't really sell sets anymore. I'm taking the Givenchy Prisma Libre powder. I'm gonna dust it on my face. I have fallen in love with this powder, which is funny because now I'm almost done with this little jar or whatever you call it. But it's it gives you just kind of a golden glow. It'll even give your shirt a golden glow if it gets on your shirt. This is a pimple right here, so, you know, I'm not really gonna put too much makeup on this part of my face because if I do wear something that's light colored, I don't wanna get a bunch of makeup on my clothes. So that's why I didn't put the concealer or the foundation down here. But I do love this powder. I didn't love it, and now I do. And so, yeah. It's nice. One Size Till Dawn mattifying waterproof setting spray. I'm not gonna use this though, because I'm just going to the coffee shop. I'm gonna go ahead and use my Charlotte Tilbury spray. I know you guys are probably like, but you didn't put anything on your face. I just do the bare minimum when I'm going to hang out in the coffee shop or run errands. I don't have time to like beat my face. But I also don't like to touch up my face either. So I make sure to set whatever makeup I put on. I'm sorry, Amanda, that I'm using it, but I know, see, y'all, you see, this is why people shouldn't video. This is why people shouldn't video their lives, because I just finished telling you, you know, the story about this book and how much I love the book, and you know, the tragic story of this woman's death, and now I'm fanning my setting spray with the book. I'm sorry, y'all. I did get this new palette, the Natasha Denona palette. I said in a previous video, but I may not have put that footage in the video. I said that I was gonna start buying small palettes. I'm no longer buying big palettes, except for that Patrick Ta one. I think I do wanna get that one because it's just all neutrals, but for the most part, I mean, so is this stuff. But for the most part, I just don't want to waste the money on palettes because I don't use them. You don't end up using all of the eyeshadow. But I just want to kind of brighten up just a little bit here. Yeah, that's pretty. But I saw this Natasha Denona like mini palette, and I was like, well, this is perfect. Like, you know, however long this will last, it's just the perfect palette. And it's nice, you know, some nice colors, pretty, and the eyeshadows are very soft. So there's 5 colors. I have 5 fingers. Look at that. Didn't that work out? Look at God. Okay, I'm gonna put on a little mascara. And when I do that, that's lashes and brows. I don't typically use a separate brow product because I don't see the point. Hair is hair, and I kind of think brow products are maybe just a tiny scam. I don't want to be that person though, like, oh no, it's a scam. I don't want to be that person, so I won't say that it is. For people who have, you know, bushy eyebrows or a lot of eyebrows, or who like to draw in their eyebrows. I'm sorry, y'all, my lips are ashy, but it's winter. For people who have those things, brow products are probably wonderful. But if you're like me, your brows are sparse and, you know, you really just want to darken them a little bit and make it look like you actually have something up there, but you're not gonna draw them in, you know, and you don't have to tame them because they're almost non-existent, I just use mascara. I can't, however, do it in the camera, so I'm gonna do it. Well, maybe I can. Let me try. I do the lifting technique. I can't tell if that looks right or not, so I'm still gonna have to look in the mirror, but you know, this, you know, I could surprise myself. But anyway, I do the lifting technique because it actually gives, well, I do have brows. It just actually hits all the hairs that I have. And then I go back and I usually take like my my comb and I shape them. Yeah, so, and then I just take the comb and I shape the eyebrows, just kind of like I do my edges when I do my pixie mold. And again, I can't see what I'm doing because I don't have on my glasses and I'm looking into my camera or my phone. So hold on. Okay, I love doing my brows this way because for one, it helped me to discover that I actually did have eyebrows. I'm just gonna put some powder over them. And because I do it up. And when you do it up, like there's all these hairs up here that I didn't know were there. And so all this time I thought that I did not have eyebrows when I just had a bunch of hairs that I wasn't getting with brow products. Or by drawing them in, because when you draw in, you draw under here. I also think lifting the eyebrows up actually lifts everything up as well. They're a little strong today, a little stronger than I like, but we're gonna go with it because they are framing my face. Yes, they don't look too crazy, okay? All right, so I'm gonna probably change my clothes because these are more like in the house lounging clothes, this outfit. Let me show you. These are just the, look at that, y'all. I have good balance for an old chick. Yeah, this is negative underwear and it is incredibly soft. I would definitely purchase more of these. I might even purchase them in a larger size just to get like the top, especially just to get that baggy look. But yeah, I'm not wearing these because they're indoor clothes. So. In my reading room, guys, this is actually the room, one of the guest rooms that I'm going to set up as my reading room. And this is the daybed / area where I will sit here and sip coffee and tea and read. And then I'm going to put Billy bookshelves on the walls. These are the bookshelves that have still not gone up. Yeah, so this is gonna be the reading room. I got a little mini fridge that I could put like cold drinks in. You know, it's totally a work in progress, you guys, but this is it. So I will definitely be documenting this. I don't normally film people in public because I don't really like that. But in this instance, I thought it was necessary. So this person sitting behind me, having this meeting and talking on the phone very loud behind me, is not with me. And yet I have to listen to his entire conversation. The thing that's getting me, you guys, though, there are all of these empty seats in this coffee shop, tons, because it's huge. Why did this dude sit directly behind me? And he knew I'm only sharing this here because one, it's content, and two, because this actually happens to me all the time. You can ask my daughter. It's not a fluke. It happens to me all the time. I could be the only person in the parking lot and someone will come and park right next to me. I could be the only person in the bathroom and someone will use the stall right next to the one I'm in. And it happens in the coffee shop all the time. If I'm in the coffee shop and someone wants to be loud, they're going to come sit right next to me, even though no other people are in the coffee shop and there's tons of seats. Why? Why do people do this? And like, who did I upset in a former life? Because honestly, I feel like it's karma for something. And for whatever it is, I am sorry. I'm truly sorry. I'm reading and taking notes for the next book that I guess I'm going to review. It's called How to Be an Artist by Jerry Saltz. And it's full of juicy tidbits for being a creative person. It's a really small book, kind of like a palate cleanser to a certain extent. Just one you kind of read. It's no nonsense. You get the message that the author's trying to give. You get the little tidbits and you keep it moving. It's funny though, for such a small book, it's filled with lots of really relevant quotes, at least relevant to my life. So this will be something that I will be reviewing on the other channel. I'll let you know when that video is posted. Here's shortly a short clip from the movie Leave the World Behind, the one with Mahershala and Julia Roberts is going to pop up on the screen. Y'all, I cannot stop thinking about this movie. It's like a 2-hour movie. It alludes to the fact that, you know, America could suddenly become under attack, and kind of gives you some tidbits on maybe what you should do, but it's executed in such a subliminal way. It's very loud and very quiet at the same time.
Down with most of the things that you do and say, but this is the part of the Venn diagram where we overlap. But as awful as people might, I don't want to be this way. I hate being terrible like this. And I know I say I hate people, but I'd do anything to have them back.
So this is future me popping in. You guys, watch the movie. If you can get subtext, if it's something that, like, if you can think critically, I mean, think about it. I had my neighbor made the comment that, like, this is not the type of movie that you would see someone like a Mahershala or a Kevin Bacon or a Julia Roberts in, and yet they're in this movie. And to me, this movie is so telling, but it doesn't just like slap you in the face. It subtly tells you. And I also think that it does speak to how humans react to things that are different. We really have this need to brush things off. We really have this need to like sweep things under the carpet, or we really don't want to believe the worst, even though we know without a doubt that people are capable of the worst, right? The thing about it is, I almost felt like someone was sending me a message. Now, I am not a conspiracy theorist at all. And I don't just think like, oh my God, they're talking to us, but they're talking to us. And it is a cautionary tale. It is also rich with innuendo, especially about how we treat each other. There's a little microaggression in there. By the way, those were real microaggressions. Some of the things that people call microaggressions just simply aren't. They're just people being, in my opinion, offended when sometimes people are just not thinking. But in this instance, Julia Roberts, like, she was a Karen, okay? And her microaggressions were very much so that. On the flip side, the young lady, her natural instinct was to be distrustful and snarky. And at the end of the day, they were both right and they were both wrong. But the microaggressions, yeah, she was killing me with the microaggressions. But it was important because at the end of the day, these people had to trust each other. And I think there was just so many good messages in the show, and some people will not get any of them just based on a lot of the 1-star reviews that I've seen. And some people will get all of them, and some will get messages that I didn't get. There's so many messages in the show. So I highly recommend watching it, especially if you are big on shows and movies about critical thought. And if you are interested in what's going on in the world and the possibility of the things that could happen, we need to be watchful. We need to be mindful. That doesn't mean that the end of the world is going to happen tomorrow. That doesn't mean that any of this is going to happen or whatever. But it does mean that just look at the possibilities and just be watchful. And maybe we do need to be a little prepared. I'm sure at this point you think this video is all over the place, because it is. It's a hodgepodge of a vlog. So I think you have probably seen in my previous videos, if you've been watching. If you haven't, go back and watch those videos. But if you have been watching, then you know that I have alluded to the fact that we are having our deck built. It's being put on the back of our house. And I didn't talk very much about this project because, one, I'm not doing it. It's not a DIY. And two, it's kind of difficult to show projects on the outside of your house without like telling people, hey, I live here. So I have tried tried to be mindful to show what I can show and to show the things that I think are relevant to the house. But our deck is now finished, and I thought I would do a bit of a reveal for you guys. I am as pleased as punch. I am over the moon. I could do backflips right now because the deck is stunning.
For this space.
What do y'all think? I love it.
It's so small.
It is small, but I still love it. I just wanted it a little further out, but this is cool. No, it's not that small.
Okay, I like the gate. That's good.
Yeah. That was Daddy appeasing me.
What'd you say?
You were appeasing me.
Of course, all the time.
No. No, this is cool. For some reason, I seem to have lost the voiceover that goes to this part of the video. I have a feeling that it's going to pop up in another part of the video once I've uploaded it, because that has happened to me before. But basically, I think the deck is a great size. I don't think it's too small. Could it be a little wider? Maybe, just because, you know, it kind of has a little bit of a bowling alley effect. But for the most part, I'm very pleased with it. I'm pleased with everything. I think it turned out to be a great space, and I can't wait to furnish it. I can't wait to do all of the things. I love the color and how it matches the house. I love the stairs, the craftsmanship. I love that we went with the plexiglass instead of the slats, and we did the same thing at the top balcony too. We took the slats off and we put the plexiglass up there as well. One of the reasons why I thought that it was smaller than it actually is because when you're watching the deck being built, you're watching it from the inside of the house. So you only get angles of it. You don't really get the full vantage, but it is actually a very, very nice size, especially since we're planning on putting other things in our backyard as well at some point. I also like the patio underneath, although I will say that the covered portion is not the most usable space because of where the columns are placed. So we're going to have to really be creative with that. Also the fire pit, which is wonderful. It's just not actually the fire pit that I wanted. I actually wanted a much larger space where chairs can sit around a smaller pit, but they assumed that when I said fire pit, that I just wanted them to build a fire pit. So now we have a huge fire pit, but there's no real way to sit around it because the area around it is sloped. So we're gonna have to revisit that whole project and see what we can do about it. This is the view from my balcony and the view from above. So it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I cannot wait to sit on it. I'm not even gonna wait for the warmer months. I'm just going to put on like my big puffer coat and get a chair when it stops raining, and I'm going to go and sit out and watch the sunset. So I guess this is a good place to love you and leave you. And I will see you in the next video, which probably will be Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not sure. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you will subscribe if you haven't. Like this video, leave me a comment, and I will see you in the next one.